Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So I'm going to show you a conversation I had with this person called Abstract Vibes, okay? So this person seemed to have a good general knowledge about Michael Jackson, and they were questioning things that I'm saying, and they were posting videos to try and be in defense of their story and to try and argue against the videos I was posting, because I was posting videos back to them and stuff, right? But in the way in which the context of this conversation occurs is that these people don't ever give my story a chance. And if you don't give my story a chance, you're not able then to balance out the things and say, okay, does this override this? That's the problem what I'm having with the fans, is that there's always enough information out there that you can create an argument against anything I say, because there's all kinds of stuff. Plus, Michael Jackson constantly was telling lies. That's like the people that would know. I think it's in the Glenda tapes where Michael Jackson explains that right when he started in Motown, because I think everybody knows this, it's general, that Michael Jackson, when he was like 12 years old, Motown was having him say that he was still like 9 or 10 years old. I think that's pretty much common knowledge. But Michael says that Motown, everything was a lie, because there was the thing where he says that the Jackson family, the tight-knit family, and he says, tight-knit my ass, and he explains how it's all bullshit, that's what Motown made him do. So right from the beginning stages of Michael's career, when he had interactions with the media, Michael was trained how to deceive them and lie to them and portray images to them. So, I think that's common knowledge, that everybody understands that that's what occurred with Michael Jackson. So as you see Michael Jackson growing up and you see the things he says, I don't understand how come the fans can't understand that that's what you're getting. You're getting Michael Jackson deceiving the media, deceiving the fans, but what you get is you get a form of truth in there. He does it with half-truths, but he's skilled. Think about how skilled Michael Jackson is at being an entertainer, right? Well, he was also very skilled at deceiving the public. It was a talent that he learned. He had done it for many years. So I don't know why the fans don't give Michael Jackson credit for being things that he's good at. One of the things he's good at is for deceiving the public and manipulating the story in the way he wants to control the story, That's just things he did. And that stuff, it's all the fans should understand. I'm not making that up. So I'm not making that up. But here's the problem, is that Michael Jackson tells a lot of truth. In a lot of his stories, there is a lot of truth there, but then there's a lot of lies. And then there's actual deception and stuff, right? So that's what makes it so difficult. So when I'm trying to have these conversations with people, they're just constantly saying, well, Michael said this. And it's there's deceptive things in there, right? And then I show them facts, and then they just won't listen to it. What they say to me is, oh, you're making up stories. It's so it's a tricky freaking situation, right? So what I just want to show you, this is after we've had a conversation going, but I'm going to show you here at the end. This is their last conversation. A lot of times I don't get notifications. So one of the problems about having conversations with these people is I don't get notifications. So I have to remember to go back and check when I'm having a conversation. I have to go back and look and see if there's a comment posted. That's one of the things that makes it hard to have these conversations and debates like this through trying to, I post a comment and you post a comment, because YouTube doesn't always post the notifications and stuff. It's an actual big problem that occurs. So here, this is the last comment that the person posted. I didn't comment back to it because the thing is that they're not giving my story a chance, and they're totally insulting me, to the point where, because they keep calling me an idiot for even thinking that way. And it's well, how is anything I ever show you going to get through when you're constantly telling me you've got to be an idiot for even thinking that way, right? So right here it says, who's they? And it's okay, if you have to ask me a stupid question, and then they'll ask you the stupidest questions, look at, this is a comment. Can I explain to you Michael Jackson's entire career and all of the things in one comment? Can I do that in one video? The fact that people don't understand that, it just boggles my mind that they're so stupid and they put these stupid questions. It's like, oh, I was supposed to explain in extreme detail to you every single thing that, you know, and then so you can't come back and say, because that's what they do. Then they just disregard everything that you showed them, and then they can come up with one thought of something you didn't show them, and they'll say, well, what about this? And it's like, it's just crazy. But this is what you do. So, because my comment before, I said you can't debunk, this is the comment I said leading up to this one. I said you can't debunk anything. All you do is tell the story they told you. Okay, so all you do is tell the story they told you. That means all of them. That means everybody that you've heard any story from, any Jackson, any of the Motown family, Michael Jackson, any of his kids, when I say they told you, also the stories that come from media, like J. Randy Taraborelli. Well, so when I said all you do is tell the story that they told you, that's all of them, okay? It's like, why do I have to explain each and every single one? So then their comment back to me is, who's they? It's like, you don't know who they was, and that after we've had this, they's all of them. You want me to actually freaking label each and every single one of them? I mean, that's ridiculous. That's what I'm saying, the way they come back. So then it says, I tell the story that Michael Jackson said himself. That's what this person is saying. Yeah, but Michael Jackson, in the story that he told himself, told you that the Jackson family tight-knit. They were trying to portray the Jackson family is tight-knit. Michael says tight-knit my ass, and that's not an interview. That's a secretly recorded phone conversation, you know? So the truth of that conversation is going to be a little bit different. Now, somebody could come back at me and say, oh, well, if you're saying that conversation is true, Michael said he was in love with Diana Ross. And it's like, yeah, but you got to listen to in the context of how he's actually saying it, because he's not actually saying it. It's a tricky little thing. And then you've got to add in that I'm telling a different story. And when you understand my story, now you can actually understand how Michael's jumbles up in that conversation and how it comes out, because it's known story. The Michael and Diana is a known story. So when it comes out, Michael can't tell you, oh, well, she's my mother and I was abandoned as a child, and he can't do that. So what happens is you get this jumbling of a story because he's trying to cover up for it, and that's why you see how it comes out confusing when he says these things, and the way in which he says the things. It's like half-truths. He says it, but it's also with deceptive. And that one, he always has to be deceptive because he can't ever tell you the truth. So that's why when you get those kind of things, that's how it comes out that way, you know? So these things have to be explained, and you have to actually take the time to understand the freaking totality of the stories of what are going on here and shit, right? So when this person says they listen to Michael Jackson said himself. Now, what I say, it's like, okay, well, the actual song Billie Jean, it's like, I'll listen to all the explanations of how Michael Jackson says he developed Billie Jean, but that's not the song. The song Billie Jean is the song. The song tells its own story. So as Michael Jackson, the artist, the song is where he tells the truth, and he does it in an artistic way so people can't understand it. It's not Michael Jackson's job as an artist to explain, like if he was a painter, it's not his job to explain to you the actual process he went through to create the painting. It's art. You're supposed to see in it what you want to see in it, but the truth of it, he's got his own idea, his own actual personal explanation, and it's not his job ever to actually explain that to you. So that's what you get. It's tricky, and when people say, well, I just listen to what he says, and it's like, well, the song is what he said. That's why I said when you hear my explanation of Billie Jean, I actually explain the song. But you people want to think that Michael Jackson given these explanations, you think that's the explanation, or other people giving explanations. It's not. The song itself is what it is. And if you can't actually break down each word and every frickin' phrase, and if you don't do that, then you can't explain the song. But I do. I fucking do explain it. That's why I know. And I explain it with the understanding that Diana Ross is his mother. That's what actually explains the song. If you don't frickin' have that frickin' piece of the puzzle, you can't explain the puzzle. You can't. That's all there is to it. You'll never build that puzzle. So this person says, for some reason I think it's a she. I don't know actually on this, but for some reason, so it says, you have You have a lot of holes in your story. Okay, so see what I'm saying? You have a lot of holes. First they say, who's they? And then they say you have a lot of holes in your story. That implies that they've seen all of my work. For this person to put into the comments, see what they're doing is these people, they're running away from me. They're running away from this fight. I'm here right in their face, and I can clearly see they're running away from the fight. They don't want to fight. They don't. And so what they're trying to do is they try and put up a battle so they can reaffirm in their head that they won the fight. Oh, I won the fight. And that's what they think. But the whole time they're running from me. This is actually what's occurring here. So it says, you have a lot of holes in your story, but I'll leave it alone. See how they're running. I'll leave it alone because you ducking the debate. Okay, the debate, this is a person I'm having a conversation with, you know? And it's like, okay, I tried my best to have a conversation with you, and now we're debating and shit. Okay, you duck in the debate. Instead, you want to type and call names, even though you're the real loser. See how they're just constantly insulting and running, never acknowledging that what I do can even possibly be true. This is how I deal with, this is what happens with these people. You're the real who dedicated a whole channel of bullshit story, which they don't know. How do you know it's a whole channel of bullshit story unless you've actually watched? You know, if you watch 20 of my videos, then I'd say, yeah, well, shoot, if you watch 20 of my videos, okay, you can say now, because it wouldn't be just bullshit stories. They would be actually identifying things that I said in my videos, and they would be countering it, you know, which that's not what this person is doing. Because you could tell from the conversation that the people have with me, I know my story, and it's like, if you're not identifying my story, then you haven't seen my story. You still don't have a clue about what it is. You don't have the evidence. You haven't seen it. So it would be better if you just expose Wade Robinson. So now, see, this is the other thing. I hate that when people do that. They're like, you're fake. If you're going to be fake, why don't you be fake this way? Oh my God, the people are so stupid and shit. Oh my God. And you can see it all in this one comment, you know, in this one comment. It just shows so much, okay? Why don't you expose Wade Robinson? Then to make up a fake bullshit story. No, I definitely have not made up any form of a fake story. I found a story through having the first idea that could Diana Ross be Michael Jackson's mother. Then I did an investigation. I never made up anything. My story's an investigation. And if you can't even acknowledge that I actually have done a serious investigation, then, you know, see what I'm saying? How all they do is insult me. They're running. They're running from, they say they were trying to have a debate. They're running from me and insulting. That's all they're doing. It says, I hope you just troll, I think it's your, they're supposed to say your there. I hope, it says you, but it's supposed to say, I hope you're just trolling and trying to make money on YouTube. Okay, my page isn't monetized. My page has enough, I've got enough hours, and I've got enough subscribers that if I wanted to monetize my page, I could. But my page is not monetized, and you don't ever hear me ask for a subscription. I don't ever ask to hit the like button. I don't have a Patreon account. And like I said, my page isn't monetized. So how is that even brought up into this conversation when I don't do any of that stuff? My story is for free for everyone, because even though it's me that's doing it, I feel like that this is Michael Jackson's story. So there's a part of what I'm doing here that's like, well, you know, I'm not trying to make money off this, because actually this is Michael Jackson's story. It's his story, you know. There's a weird thing about that, but I'm not trying to make money on YouTube whatsoever. Okay, but I'm accused of it. Here again, accused of something see how wrong this one comment is, right? And because if you believe this, you're an idiot. Oh, so I'm an idiot when they don't even have any idea of the actual investigation I've done. So see what I'm saying? It's just insult me. And then after all that insulting and running from me, it says, if you feel a way about this, debate me. So how am I supposed to debate a person like that that's just constantly running and insulting, not acknowledging any of the work I've done, and now I'm supposed to debate this person? Okay, so I'm going to show you here. I'm going to scroll this down so you can see that this was a conversation that's been occurring through this person and me. And you'll see that you see the blue things because we're both posting links to things, right? It's like, dude, didn't I do enough? Somebody there, and now look at this abstract page here. When you go to their page, if you go to that actual page, there's nothing on it. Okay? They have one subscriber. There's no, see videos right there, I clicked on it. This channel has no videos. So it's a totally like, there's nothing there, right? So how am I even supposed to, what am I supposed to debate? Who is this person? And look at, but I showed this person with the page with absolutely nothing on it, okay? And didn't I show this person at all the respect I possibly could show this person? Right, so we go. Okay, so this is the comments, you know. So it's like, didn't I show this person enough respect? I freaking had as much of a conversation. They would post something and I would post back to them and shit, right? So in this conversation, what I'm going to show you, and so the other thing too is this is taking place on my other page, my Today Slave. That's my other page because I'll also post some Michael Jackson related content on there. So this conversation took place on that page. That's my other page, the Today Slave, that I had to make this page because my An American Scheme page was under attack. So I actually had to create another page that I could do videos that are more aggressive, and if I want to yell and stuff, I put them on that page. But I do also, I mix in my Michael Jackson. It's hard for me to stay away because the people that I'm trying to contact over there, I'm still trying to contact them because I want to talk about my Michael Jackson story and stuff, right? But over there, I'll yell at them and curse at them, all this stuff, right? So that's what I have this page for, the Today Slave. Okay, so I'm going to show you here. So this is on this one here. I want to show you. Let me see if it says read more there. This one is first they're saying that Diana Ross and Michael are flirting with each other, right? Which that stuff is so easily debunked. But there's another better one here, because I want to see the one where it says sexual energy, something like that. Okay, there it is. Okay, so here, let's see the abstract. There. So on this one here, so it says, while I watch that, watch this one and explain the sexual energy between the two. Okay, so right here what I'm going to show you is that this person is posting a comment and then posting a link to a video saying that there's sexual energy between Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. So now all of the people out there, like I said, this is general information. If Michael Jackson had ever had sex, and now Diana Ross is an older woman, okay, so if that older woman is having sex with Michael Jackson, then Michael Jackson would have had sex with an older woman, which would have been an aggressive type of sex. She wouldn't have just let him be shy and be, no, if Michael Jackson ever had sex with a woman, Diana Ross, right, then Michael Jackson would have a sexual energy to him. But there's a difference between being a performer who's turning people on, but being the person in real life to actually having sexual energy, right? So I don't even need to show you this, because what we do is we go up to, this is the Diane Sawyer interview with Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley, and they've been married for 1 year at this time, okay? So first what you're going to see here is that Michael and Lisa Marie, when they're sitting there, they don't have any sexual energy to, and this is his wife, okay? And they've been married for a year. So this is the thing that I'm saying, is if Michael Jackson ever would have had sex with Diana Ross, or if Michael Jackson was a homosexual, or if Michael Jackson was a pedophile, if he had done any of those things, that means Michael Jackson has had sex in his life, which means that if he's married to Lisa Marie Presley for a year, just being a man, and it doesn't matter what form of a man he is, if he's a man that had sex with Diana Ross, if he's a man that's a homosexual man, or if he's a man who has pedophile stuff and he's having sex with kids, if any of those things have ever occurred, then he would have had sex with Lisa Marie. And if he ever had sex with Lisa Marie and he's not a virgin, then you would see him showing some of that. But in this, you completely don't see that at all, and he can't even fake it. That's the thing, is he can't even fake it because he has no clue. He's a virgin. That's the whole thing about Michael Jackson, is this right here. It proves that he's actually a virgin. And that's what you're actually seeing. You're seeing there is no sexual energy. You're seeing the freaking actions of a virgin. And remember, he's been married for a year at this point. So first you're just going to see them together a little bit. They both got their hands in their lap. Remember, they've been married for a year. Okay? They're not close to each other. There's no love between them. It's not happening. But then they go and show the marriage. It's like, okay, let's say they were having a rough time and they were fighting and stuff. Okay, well, at the marriage, when the marriage occurred, there would have been some form of sexual energy. There would be something there, but it's not there either. So that's how you can clearly see that Michael Jackson's a virgin. Because, like I said, even if the thing's fake, if Michael Jackson, and see, Lisa Marie, she's been married before this encounter. She's married and had children. Lisa Marie's having sex, and she's not shy, because she went on the Howard Stern show and she talked about having anal sex. She talked about having lesbian sex with women. But when it came to Michael Jackson, you see in her the same thing of what you're seeing with her interactions with Michael Jackson. It's non-existent. There's nothing there. She doesn't know there is no talking about it whatsoever. So they give these vague statements and they offer up to you to make up your own conclusion. She says, well, I was married to him and we were sleeping in the same room. What do you think was happening? They'll do stuff like that. And then it's like they'll let your mind wander. But those are deceptive tactics, and they're not answering the real questions and stuff. And when they don't do it right. And you can clearly see from this interaction here that Michael and Lisa, there was no sexual energy.
Some wedding video of the two of you.
Look at them, hands in their laps, not even looking at each other. There's no love there.
I take you there a year ago, right?
Yes.
Just about exactly.
I look like an idiot.
And she's like, I look like an idiot.
You look more like a...
You look like he won't say. So look at, Michael's not even looking at her. She's looking down. She's not even wearing a wedding dress. So Michael, on his first wedding, after he proclaimed himself to not be a virgin, that he was a gentleman to Oprah Winfrey, he goes and gets married in a small room. And remember, this is the granddaughter of the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. And he takes that girl into a small room like this, not wearing a wedding dress. He won't even look at her. Look at, Michael's not even looking at her. And then when you see, he's actually chewing on gum. How is he gonna freaking kiss his wife and be a gentleman? He's marrying this woman in a little room. They're not dressed up properly. Michael's chewing on gum. There's no gentleman excuse. There's no shy excuse. The only excuse of what you're seeing is that Michael Jackson's actually a virgin. There's no sexual nature to this man. And if he ever had sex with Diana Ross, if he ever had sex, like I said, if he was gay, nothing. And now, look at, they just watched the video of their marriage, and look at them, hands in their lap, not even touching each other. There's no way no man in the world would be able to watch a video like that, or the woman. One of them would have grabbed the other one. But these two are clearly sitting there with their hands in their laps, folded in their laps. It is pathetic. It's clearly obvious that Michael Jackson's a virgin, and Lisa Marie's over there just not believing, like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck did I do getting into this fucking relationship? This is ridiculous, you know? She's just stunned. You know, she's just stunned. The whole time she's just like, I can't believe that this guy, he won't even touch me and shit, you know? It is freaking, it's insane. But you can clearly see him from this. So like I said, when this person over here is trying to have a conversation with me, and they're saying that sexual energy, right? Watch this one and explain the sexual energy between the two. And she's talking about, and it's like, no, you're seeing they love each other, Michael and Diana, because especially it's like, the thing is, Diana Ross, she got to understand that, okay, now the actual explaining of what you see with Michael and Diana is that, first of all, Diana Ross got pregnant by Smokey Robinson. She was only 14 years old. She loved Smokey Robinson, but she never got a chance to be in a relationship with him. But she freaking admired Smokey Robinson. She loved Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson would, like she proclaims on the Arsenio Hall show, that Smokey Robinson was her first real love. You know, she's a total woman. adult woman. It's 1990 when she says that. And she explains that she was also best friends with Smokey's niece, and because of that, she could sleep over in Smokey Robinson's house. So that's what people don't understand. It's like they don't understand the evidence. It's like I've got Diana Ross saying she was in love with Smokey Robinson at the time Michael Jackson's conceived. Not only is she saying she was in love with him, she's sleeping in his house because her best friend is Smokey Robinson's niece who lives with Smokey Robinson. So and she says, I would have sleepovers. I would sleep in his house. Diana Ross said that. It's like, and people think I'm making this up. It's like, how the fuck did I make it up when Diana Ross is the one saying she's in love with Smokey Robinson and sleeping in his house at the time that Michael Jackson's conceived? I didn't make that fucking shit up. But when you go looking for the evidence, what do you find? Diana Ross is sleeping in Smokey Robinson's house and saying that she's in love with him at the time that Michael Jackson's conceived. That is real fucking evidence. That's not the shit that you people can say, oh, well, look at here's sexual energy. No, Diana Ross told you that she was sleeping in Smokey Robinson's house and she was in love with him at the time Michael Jackson's conceived. That's what real fucking evidence is. You people don't understand the difference. So this sexual energy between the two, that's all bogus. What you're seeing is that Michael Jackson now is the child, that Diana Ross gives away that child so that Motown can be created and Smokey can build his career with Berry Gordy. And that's why they gave the child away, because it's before Motown's even created. That's the whole thing of, and then there's much more to it, but then you got to think about the reality. Diana gives her child away, the child that was her love child from Smokey Robinson, the guy that she totally loves, but she gives the child away so Smokey could have his career, and then that would give Diana the opportunity to build her career too. And then they did. They built their careers, right? So then Diana Ross, she doesn't have to go back and find that child. What happens in real life is that child comes back and finds her. Okay? Do you know that admiration, how much she admired that and she adored that kid when this is the story? And because you got to think about God, she's thinking like, can you believe that this is what God has done? We gave the kid away, but then the kid comes back because he is the kid of Diana and Smokey, and the kid's got talent. He's got super fucking talent, right? And so when you're seeing the love from Diana Ross to Michael Jackson, what you're seeing is the story that is that he's the child, the love child, and then they gave him away, but then the child came back on his own. That's why Diana Ross has this freaking love for that kid. She loves that fucking kid, and it's like, that's what you're seeing. Okay, so the sexual energy of what you're saying, and so when Diana calling him sexy and stuff like that, she's, first of all, they're in the public eye, so there's ways in which they have to speak, they have to build each other up into the public and the way they talk about stuff. But that's the kid of Smokey Robinson. Okay, and remember, Diana didn't raise this kid. She didn't feed him from a baby and stuff. Michael come back as a star, so Diana's looking at him like the kid of Smokey Robinson. You know, it's her kid. There's all this stuff in it, and that's why she loves him. And then they have to be in front of the media, so she has to build him up. She wants him to be sexy because she wants to call him sexy because Diana Ross is like, she's a pretty woman. And so for Diana Ross to say to Michael, she's trying to build him up. So when she calls him sexy, she understands that Michael being desired by the public is a good thing for Michael's career. So that's like how all these things happen. But see how long it takes me to actually explain it? And I would have to even tell you more. We'd have to go into more to really explain everything. But that is what you're actually seeing. And then Michael Jackson is told by Diana Ross that he was her child. So at 10 years old, so when the Jacksons signed to Motown, they moved to Los Angeles, and they move into Diana Ross's house, where Michael states that Diana Ross, in his book Moonwalk, when you want to say you heard it from the horse's mouth, what does Michael say? Michael says that Diana Ross would specifically take him out alone almost every day over the period of a year and a half. Okay, so that's the facts. When they moved to LA, they moved into Diana Ross's house, and Diana Ross specifically took Michael out alone. That's what occurred. Okay, so your people's reasons for how that occurred, it makes no sense. There is no logic there. So what you have to understand is that Michael was being raised by the Jacksons, right? So then when they go and live with Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, remember, he's being abused by Joe. Joseph is aggressive, right? He's beating on him and telling him what to do. He's aggressive, right? So Michael Jackson, being in the entertainment business, he would have known who Diana Ross was. She's a big star. The Supremes is actually the biggest band for Motown, is the Supremes. And there's these beautiful black women, right? So as a kid, being a young man, Michael Jackson would have been fond of the Supremes and Diana Ross. He would have known who they were. He would have loved Diana Ross before he actually meets her and he's living in her house. So think about the reality is that Michael's 10 years old. Next thing you know, he's living in Diana Ross's house. He's signed to Motown and living in her house. And then that woman comes and tells him, I'm your mother. So you got to think about the reality of like how much he loved her at that time. And remember, that's the kid that's lost from Diana, and that's the child of Smokey Robinson. So Diana has given Michael Jackson an incredible amount of actual affection. Like, see what they're saying, the sexual energy? It wasn't sexual energy, it was a freaking true affection that was taking place. And that's why when you see the hugging and the kid, there's no real kissing. It's kissing on the cheek almost every time. When people say that what you're seeing, you guys have made it up of what you think you're seeing. It's not there. What you actually see is the story that I'm explaining, and how these people developed and how their relationship developed, and that's actually what you're seeing. My story actually explains it because it is the truth. It's not this stuff that what you people, because right there's no sexual energy between Michael and Diana, because you just saw what Michael and his wife, Lisa Marie Presley, and like I said, Lisa Marie Presley's as a man, she's a good looking little hot piece of ass. And as a man, it doesn't matter if I was gay or if I was a pedophile or if I was having sex with women, whatever the situation was, I would have taken advantage of Lisa Marie Presley at some point. She was a willing freaking participant, and she was definitely sexual. She's got kids and shit. She was wanting to have sex and shit. After Michael, she went on and had relationships with bunches of men and shit, you know, and all those dudes, I guarantee you, they were having sex with her because that's what she is. She's a hot little piece of ass. So, but it's not there. With Michael and her, it's just flat out not there. It doesn't matter what they say, because when you see them together, it's clearly there's no sexual energy there. That's clear. And so you know that the energy between Michael and Diana could not have been sexual, because if there was any real sexual energy, you would have seen Michael been able to fake it with Lisa, but it didn't happen. So you know that the energy between Michael and Diana is not sexual. What it is, it's a fondness of the real story of the two coming back together. And like I said, the Diana, that being the child of Smokey Robinson, that Michael Jackson's the one child that came out between them, and it's an incredible story. And that's what you actually see between them, and that's how their relationship develops, and all the things about Michael now being the child of Diana Ross. I mean, shit, it's crazy shit. But that's where you get the fondness, and that's how you get Michael loving Diana Ross so much, because what actually happens is Diana re-abandons Michael to the Jacksons because he's a Jackson now, and they've got to keep that story established. So Michael then, at the time when he's re-abandoned by Diana Ross, he's always like clinging back to her, trying to be like wants to actually be her child. And that's what actually happens, and what damages Mike. That's the thing that actually damaged Michael, is that when he finds out he was abandoned, and then the mother is there and stuff, but then what happens is the mother re-abandons him again. This is what happened to Michael and how he ended up being the person he became, because that's what actually happened to him. And that's what screwed him up. And everything. My story freaking actually explains everything and shit, right? So, I'm going to show you this here. This person said, "You're good." This person tells me here in this conversation. Let me see here. Let me roll it down. Right there. Okay. So it says, "You're good at making a story up." Okay. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not making a story up. I'm telling the truth. and that's why I'm actually so good and people can't deal with what I'm doing, because I will always win because I have the truth on my side. And that's why everybody, all they can do is insult me and belittle me. See how they're saying I'm making it up. They're always, in everything, they're always belittling me or insulting me. And then they accuse me of being the one that's insulting them. And it's like, shit, I'm the one here trying to have a conversation with you. I'm freaking showing you facts back and showing you stuff, but all you do is keep denying me and insulting me, belittling me constantly. And they're running from the debate constantly, right? So this person says, you're good at making a story up, but hear from the horse's mouth. Hear it from, it's they said here, they spelt that wrong. So that's what I'm saying. This could be just a kid and shit. I don't know who this is and shit, right? But so, and then it says Michael Jackson explains Billie Jean. Now I'm going to click on this one because I want to actually hear that. We're going to hear this.
When I was very little, around 10 years old, I used to go on these tours with my brothers, the Jackson 5.
Okay, so right there at first, he starts this off when he says, when I was very little, about 10 years old. And that's what I'm saying, the weird thing about, because now he's explaining Billie Jean. And so what I say, the actual thing about Billie Jean is when Michael was 10 years old. That's when Diana Ross, that's when Michael's living in Diana Ross's house. That's when Diana Ross actually told Michael that she was his mother. So that right there, that part of it was true. That, yeah, Michael was 10 years old when the Billie Jean song, what it's actually about, it did occur when he was 10 years old. And so that's what I'm saying with these things about, you'll get some truth, but then he comes up with other parts of the story and stuff. But here, let's listen to what he says.
And I'd hear these crazy stories that these girls would claim my brothers had relationships with them, which they didn't, and that they were going to have their children. And I thought that to be so strange and so crazy.
Okay, so first he starts it off by saying that the children, about what he's talking about is, now he's talking about the brothers, that this has to do with their relationships, you know, and it has to do with like the groupies and stuff like that are following the band, and that they're saying, oh, they're pregnant by him and stuff. So see what I'm saying? There's all kinds of different stories, because the J. Randy Taraborelli says that Billie Jean was somebody that was sending Michael Jackson like boxes, or you know, she was sending things in the mail, packages, and it's telling all this crazy stuff and stuff. But that's like the story he told him. But that's what I'm saying. These stories evolve. There's always different things about what the people are telling, but you can't. So hearing it from Michael's mouth and stuff, it's like, well, it's like the song is the song. What you hear is like deceptive. It's tricky.
Then, a couple of years later, there was this girl named Billie Jean who used to stand outside my gate.
Okay, now, that could be possible. There could be a girl, Billie Jean, that stood outside the gate. I'm not sure. Maybe there is a truth to that, because now I know that the Billie is the Billie Holiday and stuff, right? But it's part of like how the song came upon in Michael's head, like the way he created the song. That could be the Billie Jean when he was coming up with the name Billie Jean. That part could be true. That's where part of like the essence of the inspiration for the name Billie Jean. But that's all it is. That's all. The only thing it could possibly be is that story could be a part of how the word Billie Jean was formed. But that's all it can be.
I would drive outside the gate. She would say, here's the keys to our car. And she would say, here's the keys to the front door. And she would say that I'm actually the father of her child, which never ever happened. And that inspired the song, because the chorus goes, Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. Well, I guess that's how that happened.
And see right there, I guess that's how it happened. Because Michael Jackson doesn't like to lie and shit, right? That's part of the essence. So when he's saying, I guess that's how it happened, what he's telling you right there is that's not how it actually happened. Because he doesn't. And how he says, she's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. And so in that, Michael's representing, in that part right there, Michael's representing to you that line there, the kid is not my son, he's representing to you that he's saying that. That's the big lie and how they covered it up. But when you actually listen to it, she's just a girl who claims that I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. Actually, Billie Jean says all of that. You know, so Now, if the story he was telling you that the girl on the street, she's just a girl who claims that I'm the one, but the kid is not my son, that doesn't make any sense from the girl on the street to say that entire line. So that's what Michael does. Like I say, there's half-truths, and like at the end where he says, well, I guess that's how it came about, because he doesn't like to lie. And that's how you know that when he's lying, he always does these subtle little things, and that's how you catch him, because it comes out like that. And where he's like, and so when he says, I guess that's how it, that tells you right there that he lied to you, and he doesn't like to lie. And that's how the conversations come out. Because actually Billie Jean is the one, when Diana Ross tells Michael, she says, she's just a girl who claims that I'm the one. At that time, she's just a girl. She's just Diana Ross. Michael doesn't know like that she's his mother. Okay? So at that point, she's just a girl. And Michael's 10 years old. And it doesn't matter that she's a star. She is just a girl. But see, too, also, okay, so the first line. So what it's like as much of important of a line in the song as the first line of the song. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. Okay? So how is that describing this girl that was on the street that was saying the stuff that, oh, she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene? So that doesn't sound like the girl that Michael was talking about that was hanging outside his house and stuff. And Michael, her name is Billie Jean, and the girl's telling him the stuff, you know, the stories and stuff. It's like that doesn't sound like that girl at all. And when you actually go through the lyrics of the song, like what about the line when Michael says, she came and stood right by me just to smell a sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Okay, how that where you know, she came and stood right by me just to smell a sweet perfume. Michael says he's in the car, you know, and when he's talking to this girl that's just standing outside on the street, that doesn't make any sense. It has no context with that Billie Jean girl that he's talking being outside the house. That has this girl. She called me to her room. What does that have to do with this girl that's out on the street? It has nothing to do with it. That's how you can see that it's not real. But the actual reality is, like I said, Michael was 10 years old when he was living in Diana Ross's house. She came and stood right by me with the smell of sweet perfume. Diana Ross is an older woman. She came and stood right by me. It shows you that she's the one with the power. She came and stood right by me with the smell of sweet perfume, because that's Diana Ross. She always smelled really good. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. It's not sexual. Michael Jackson is 10 years old, and then so that's what he's saying. This happened much too soon, because he finds out at 10 years old that he's not part of the Jackson family. See how I actually explain it? And then she called me to her room. Okay, well, Michael Jackson's living in her house, and she's the older woman. She called me to her room. See how I actually explain the words, and how Michael Jackson's actual life experience actually falls in perfect alignment with how I'm explaining the words? And now she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene, because Michael Jackson, so when she says she was more like, that shows that he already has an idea of who this woman is, because he knows Diana Ross as a singing star. He knows her. She's a singing star. But when he's living in her house and she's going to inform him that she's his real mother, she's actually filming a movie at that time, Lady Sings the Blues, where she plays the character Billie Holiday. And so she's more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. Diana Ross is making a movie at this time, and when Michael's 10 years old, like how he said in the beginning of that Billie Jean explanation, that when he was 10 years old, that's where it started. Not about these other stories of what you hear and the stuff of what he had to make up for the media and stuff, because when you actually look at the actual words of the song, it perfectly aligns with the story about what I'm telling about Michael Jackson living in Diana Ross's house, and at that time is when she informed him that she was his real mother. And that's why the line where it says, she's just a girl who claims that I'm the one, but the kid is not my son, that Diana Ross says all of that. But Michael can't tell you, oh, well, this song's about Diana Ross being my mother. He can't tell you that stuff. And that's why you get the jumbling of the explanations throughout the years about what the song's actually about. Because Michael can't tell you what the song's about. Because the song's actually about Diana Ross informing him that she was his real mother and shit, right? But that's why when you actually listen to what I say and you listen to the words in my explanation, so she's just a girl who claimed that I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. Because that's what I say she did. She claimed that she tells Michael Michael, you're the one, you're my child. But then what she does is she abandons him back to the Jackson family and says, but you're actually officially a Jackson. So in public, I'm going to deny that you're my kid. And she said, I'm not going to frickin' tell the world that you're actually my kid. So that's why she says she's just a girl who claims that I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. It's Diana Ross who's the one saying the kid is not my son. See, that's what you people, you've misinterpreted the song, and Michael understands. It's just like what happens in folklore. It's the stories that get told, and he understands that's part of the magic of being an entertainer, and to let the people have the ideas of what they want to do in art and let it just go. That's the way it is. But he understood that he put down the truth in the song. So if you ever want to actually look at the song, and if you can figure it out, it's a thing. It's like a freaking enigma. It's a mystery wrapped in a fucking riddle and shit, right? And so that's what it actually is. And he understands that only the pure, true person will be able to fucking break this. And it happened to be me. There's only one person who did it, and that person was me. And all of you millions of Michael Jackson fans out there, you can't deal with the reality that there was one person who actually did that. And that person is me. And I get yelled at by all these people by their simpleton explanations of their understanding of just because you guys believe the media and you don't understand how art is really formed and shit. It's not my fault. And so when somebody actually explains it to you, you have to be able to look at what I'm saying. You have to say, is what I'm saying making sense or is it total bullshit? And it's like, if you think what I'm saying is total bullshit, you're just a pathetic slave, because the shit I'm saying, the way I'm explaining things, and what I show you perfectly falls in alignment with Michael Jackson's actual real life, and I actually explain the things, and I can show you all this stuff, and when you actually look at it from my point of view, now you'll see that the things you're seeing, the way I see it, it perfectly explains everything. There's not anything where it doesn't ever perfectly explain it. It perfectly explains everything over and over and over again. And because it's true. That's all there is to it. My story is true. And it doesn't matter where you go and where you look. Like I said, when I had the idea that Diana Ross was Michael Jackson's mother, I didn't know about her living in Smokey Robinson's house. And I didn't know that stuff. That's because I did an actual I didn't know that Billie Jean was Diana Ross. I didn't know that. It just started with a thought. Could be Diana Ross be Michael Jackson's mother? And because of that thought, I did an investigation. And through the investigation, what happened was, every time I would look for things, I never could find anything that proved me wrong. And that's what I would do. I'd always say, okay, well, because that's what I'd say. It's like, I would look for information that could debunk I was trying to debunk myself at the beginning. And what happened is I couldn't debunk myself. And what happened is I kept finding more information that was validating my story. And then I've been doing this for so long now that I'm way past the debunking thing. Because like I said, I found the stuff of Diana Ross. I found her explaining that Smokey's the dad and she was sleeping in his house. I found videos of her explaining what actually happened. I've explained the song Billie Jean, and through the understanding of the song Billie Jean, I know that I'm not wrong. I know I'm not wrong. And this is how Diana Ross ends up in Michael Jackson's will, because there's a thing about like Michael Jackson writing the song Dirty Diana. If Dirty Diana was actually about Michael Jackson and Diana Ross's experience, and he writes a song about her called Dirty Diana, well then she wouldn't end up in Michael Jackson's will over guardianship to his children, because there would have been a breaking down, a falling out. Michael Jackson would have put somebody in his family in that position, but it doesn't. It ends up being Diana Ross, because what you people don't know is that Dirty Diana is about the telling of Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. That's how Dirty Diana, that's what Dirty Diana is about. It's about Diana Ross having a love affair with Smokey Robinson. That's the song about what Dirty Diana is about. It's not about Michael and Diana. It's about Diana and Smokey. It's about Michael Jackson's real parents. And he's calling her, the reason he's willing to call Dirty Diana Ross dirty is because she got pregnant at 14 and abandoned him. And then when he's living with her, and then she tells him she's his mother, but then she re-abandons him, and then as they go through their life up until the time where Dirty Diana comes out, she's never reaffirmed herself. And then she marries like that Arnold Ness guy, right? And the people always say, oh, Michael was so mad about that. No, what it's about is that Diana Ross is being married to these people, and now she's gotten married again, but she's never acknowledged that Michael's actually her child. That's what Michael was pissed about. And then because of that, he says, oh yeah, now that's what gives him the power to write the song with the title of Dirty Diana. That's how it all happened. My story explains everything over and over and over again. Like, I actually explained Dirty Diana. I actually explained what the fucking words mean. And because the words, and I know that Smokey, I know the story because I explain everything. There's nothing I don't actually explain. But somebody could come to me right here and say, oh, well, you didn't explain this. It's like, well, I got a video. I'm trying to make it as short as possible. It's already going to be like 30-minute freaking video. What do you expect me to do? I can't do it all in one fucking video. But the people can't even acknowledge